At a job and it was like $7 an hour
Yeah.
because I think a paycheck I was getting like $160. So,
Slavery.
like full slavery. What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to Pedal Down 4x4, and this is the Shet Show podcast where we talk a lot of shit about different subjects. We have a guest today on this episode.
What's happening, y'all?
We have Wyatt. He is a master tech for Ford. He is also my diving partner, my wheeling and camping partner, and we are just a bunch of dickheads.
Yeah.
So it'd be what better person to have on the podcast than a fellow dickhead?
Wow, same mentality.
Same mentality. So I guess we'll start with what I guess we'll start with you. On the topic of like just automotive. Like how did you get into automotive? Like trucks, working on cars, being a
Had
mechanic.
to have been from high school. I always wanted to be a roofer because I was raised as a roofer. But then in high school, there wasn't much classes that you could take instead of wood shop or automotive. So I did both. And automotive, I don't know, everything started clicking. I could see how an engine would work in my head. And everything was like easy to think about. I got it real fast. And then I was like, okay, maybe I want to work on cars. Did it for like 2-3 years. Then I was like, yeah, I'm going to go college. Jumped to our community college. And that's where I met this fricko right here. We're all in the same class, different schools, but I remember the first time. Oh yeah, this guy rolled up with Snap-on safety glasses with the light on the side. I was like, "Oh, this guy means business, guy." This guy wouldn't smile, nothing. He's just sitting there like, "Wow,
Yeah.
frick all you guys." And I was like, "Okay, whatever." This guy's like, I think he knows everything already or something.
Yeah, reality was I didn't know shit about cars. So when we first started, I think we got the syllabus and we needed like tools.
Yeah.
So they gave us a list of tools that you needed to get. So the Snap-on truck came, or I remember we called the Snap-on guy and we went there and we just got all the tools on it, and that was like the glasses that they had. So I'm looking like an absolute jackass. I'm over here with these.
Look like he came from UTI or something.
Yeah, looked like I came from UTI. Reality was I had no idea. I didn't know anything about cars.
Yeah.
And in fact, when we did the intros in the class, when they asked what's our mechanical knowledge,
Oh yeah.
I think I was the only one who said I don't know shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know
Everybody
anything.
was trying to be like, oh, I know this. I've
Yeah,
changed
everybody-
tires before.
Yeah, I've done this.
I changed my own oil.
Yeah, I built an RC car before.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was over there like I don't know anything about cars. I'm just trying to learn shit. So that's kind of how I guess that's how we kind of got to know each other. For me, I was never interested in cars.
Yeah.
I was never interested in automotive. Like I liked cars. And
But you had your Corolla with just sounds in it.
yeah, so I had a 90.
Dumping sounds.
I had a 97 Corolla and I had like a big Sundown subwoofer in the back. There was like 30 pounds of sound dead in there in the trunk. I used to work at a job and it was like $7 an hour. So the subwoofer was $500. So I saved up for like months.
Yeah.
Because I think a paycheck I was getting like $160.
Slavery.
Like full slavery. So I had to work a lot just to get this subwoofer. I got all that and I was into sounds at the time and I was never really into the automotive side. But I was always a tinkerer.
Yeah.
So when we had like a radio,
Work with your hands.
yeah. So when I had a radio, I'll tear the radio apart. I wanted to know how it worked. I wanted to know how things worked. So, but the thing with us is my family, like my mom, my dad, and I don't have any brothers here, or I don't have any brothers. I have a sister, but she's on a different island. But none of us were into cars. So there was nobody there was no uncle. There was no, like, I mean, I have a dad, but there was no father figure who's a mechanic who was like, who kind of brought me into that space. I grew up hunting. So my dad we would go hunting from when I was. I mean, I'm not gonna say the age, but we were hunting from pretty early. So, but I got into automotive. I just wanted to learn, just because the reason why I did it, the reason why I really did it, is because we were too poor to.
Yeah, taking somebody
Yeah,
and spend big money on something
exactly. So
that you could do.
yeah, so my mom, my dad, myself, like we're not like we weren't poor, but we definitely weren't like if something happened, we didn't have enough money to go to a shop
Yeah.
and be like, "Hey, can you fix this? Can you put an alternator
Same,
in?"
yeah, same as mine. It's like,
So-
bro, you don't throw it away, you fix it.
Yeah, exactly. So I had to figure out how to do a lot of stuff, and I was grateful enough, or I was gracious enough that my mom paid for and it's community college, but still, when you live in Hawaii,
fresh out of high school.
yeah, when you live in Hawaii and you're not going to a university, even though the whole time I was there was maybe a few $1,000s.
I think like $2,000 a
Yeah,
semester.
$2,000 a semester. That's still a lot of money for a family who's really living kind of paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
So when I got into automotive, it wasn't very. I had no idea. And so the reason why I did that was mainly just because we were too poor to afford anything, and all the stuff that I wanted to do, like I like trucks.
Yeah.
But I just didn't have the money to pay someone else to do it.
Yeah, I rather have learned how to do stuff instead of like being that guy like, oh man, can you help me change my tire? Can you help me bleed my brakes?
Talking about that, since brother man like throw some shade at me on my glasses.
Yeah.
I got a phone call 2 or 3 weeks ago from a certain Ford master technician, okay, and he calls me because he's like, "Oh, guy, hey, are you home?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" And he's like, "Bro, can you help me bleed my brakes?"
I was in the shop at night by myself, all alone. I had one of my bleeder screws was freaking solid. No fluid was coming out, so I had a hard time bleeding it. I was trying to do the pump method. I tried putting on a air pressure method. Couldn't fit my truck. I was just like, bro, I'm just getting brake fluid everywhere. And then I'm just like, bro, I wonder if Kobe's like nearby. Call him up. He came, but he only had to pump the brakes like 3 times.
Yeah.
It was good after.
Yeah, it was fine.
This guy came for like 3 minutes. I was like, mahalo you. Man.
Yeah, so I came by in the Lexus, but yeah, so that's kind of the way we both got into cars, and I guess is more out of I don't know if it's necessity, but for me, I want to say it was necessity because the stuff I wanted to learn how to do, like I would see people doing it, I didn't know how it was done, and I knew I didn't have enough money to afford to pay someone to do it.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of got into that whole automotive,
Oh.
and then that kind of just blew up for me. Not for like social media. It blew up for me for working on cars. I have a car in here every weekend.
Yeah, we just finished one right now.
Yeah, we just finished one right now, and it was for Wyatt's cousin, and then I have another Lexus coming in here in the next week. So it's like day to day for me, and I'm also working 2 jobs, but it definitely does. I don't make any money off of working on cars. If the IRS is watching, okay, I don't make any money working on cars. What happens is I work on the car, and they give me money for my birthday.
Yeah.
It's a gift. It is a gift.
It is
yeah,
a gift.
And, I mean,
gifts.
and it's cheap. It's like it's $50,
Something like that.
$50, something like that.
Easier. Not even enough to get H&R Block involved there.
Yeah, nothing like that. Nothing like that. We're not going to talk about that. But I guess the first thing I wanted to get through, or this whole subject of this first podcast, what I want to talk to you is the difference, because I'm an independent. So I'm an independent mechanic. I would go to other people's houses, work on their vehicles. I work on vehicles in my garage. Wyatt works on vehicles at the dealership. Well, yeah, he'll work on cars in the weekends, like here and there.
Yeah,
but his main job is
at a dealership.
Is at a dealership, yeah. So, I guess from your standpoint, what is
the pros and cons or something?
Yeah, what is it? What is it? I'm a dumbass. Like I'm a inspiring lube tech, and I want to go work at Ford. For some reason,
first of all, don't even work at Ford. Don't touch them. As long as you don't buy them as your personal vehicle, okay? Right there, Toyotas. Anyway, I would say somebody that wants to join into the field. I started my first job actually was at a rental car company, and that was easy money. Like they pay good, and all you're doing is oil changes and tires all day long. Nothing serious. If it's serious, they take it to a dealership. But I didn't like it just because it was too easy. I wanted to learn more. I joined automotive so that I can like be able to do things, not just change tires and oil. So then I left there, ended up getting a dealership job, and it's a lot of ups and downs. If you want to start there, you're gonna have to work the chain of command. You can't just jump in as no matter if you went to UTI college or whatever. You just got to learn how the dealership works.
So you're telling me that I can't just go to a Tech 2 or Tech 1?
You probably can, yeah, for sure. You probably
Really?
Tech 1. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know. I thought.
They'll just tell you get your certs done.
Oh, okay.
Because to move up, you got to have the required certifications.
Right, but for any like Joe Schmo with like no knowledge, like they change their oil.
No knowledge, just change oil.
So like for the stuff that I do, like engine swaps, build cars, shit like that, they know my knowledge. They would
bump you up.
Really? I didn't know. I thought it was just you have to start at a loop tech.
Nah, I mean if you tell them like I've changed brakes before, they'll be like, okay, yeah, we'll put you in lube. But if you're telling you're swapping engines, putting a different engine in another car,
right,
fully lifting a truck,
like electric diagnostics and stuff like that.
I know how to diagnose. They'll put you at like towards the top, and all they'll tell you to do is just
get your
complete your
certifications.
certs to be at that level.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of good.
Oh, okay. That's I thought you'd have to start from the bottom. I didn't know that.
No, you could. A lot of guys have started like towards the middle because they know they know
basic stuff.
Yeah. But better than changing oil.
Right.
So I mean, there's a lot of pros and cons of being in a dealership. The hard parts is that you have service writers, and you've got customers that are down their throat, and so they get down your throat. And somehow it's always a tech's fault. If the parts gets ordered wrong, it's on you. If the lady tells the customer, "Oh, it'll be done in 2 days," and it's done in like 4, they look at the tech. But even though it's just like bad management, timing, and skills.
Wow.
So like you take a lot of the brunt of it. But,
yeah.
The good things about being a dealership is you don't have to be buying a lot of specialty tools because that stuff is already in the shop provided.
And I guess because if you work at a dealership, you guys are specializing in one type of vehicle.
Yeah.
Like you guys will get Chevys, Toyotas, Nissans.
I mean, we're on an island that has one dealership per manufacturer, and if Toyota gets backed up with jobs, and people need their car to get worked on, they feel like they need to go to a dealership for some reason, for warranty purposes or whatever. Right. Paperwork trail. They'll jump over to us. So I'll work on Toyotas, Dodges, anything and everything.
But for 90% of the time, you're working on Fords.
Yeah, most times it's Fords, Mazdas. I hate Mazdas. Passionate. That's one thing too, is dealing with warranty. That's the only thing dealership.
Oh yes,
that's
what I wanted to ask you.
Warranty sucks. You're getting paid like half the time the books tell you it should take, and they'll try anything and everything to cut it down, and you're just basically working for pennies after that.
I've heard about that. Like they'll say it like warranty job is 2 hours, but
warranty sucks.
Reality is they don't charge for that all that stuff to get to that one point.
They will, but
they will. Oh, yeah, okay.
But they'll think, I don't know why they'll make it a lot less,
and just because
it's warranty paying for it. Yeah. They'll be like, oh, you got to take apart the dash to get to the evap core. Normally it takes like 9.6 hours. Warranty will pay like 4.2, and so like we get based off of our flat rate. We have flat rate and hourly just to make sure that our flat rate is okay, but. Yeah, you'll do the whole job, and somebody next to you can get a customer pay, which gets that 9.6, and you're over there with warranty doing the same exact thing for 4 hours.
Right.
And you're just like, fuck, this sucks. So that's a big kick in the balls right there. And then, other than that, it's basically sometimes it's just a shop. It's got a bunch of in there, just doing their best. And nothing really more to complain about. It's just once you get into the for about a year or two. You know how everything works, and
Right.
you just get in there, do what you got to do, and bail.
So can you turn down warranty work as a tech?
No, if you're able to do it, you should be able to. You should
So
do it.
if you're free, like if you're not working on a customer car
Yeah,
and you're free, they assign you that job and you have no say.
yeah. Well, ours now is like computerized, so there'll be the service writers putting in all the jobs for the day,
Right.
and there'll be a list, a priority of what needs to be done
Oh, and it just
based on
shuffles
some kind of algorithm. I don't know. Depends on people that are waiting here. Some
who
depends
they
on,
want to bone first.
yeah. Pretty much.
Right.
So you gotta, and we have things where we gotta claim jobs on our computers. So if we're not working on anything, we're ready to get the next job. Click claim. Something will pop up on our screen, and it could be warranty, it could be customer pay, could be anything. So it's just what gets pulled.
Mm.
So it's you're playing your cards right there.
Okay, so I guess another question for that would be, now that you've been a dealer mechanic, dealer technician, for how long? Over
7.
7 years
We've been
now.
there 7 years.
Would you go independent?
After seeing your, I definitely would go independent as
Okay.
long as you invest the money in the proper equipment,
Right.
because that's the number one thing. It sucks to work on the ground, but when you have a lot of things that helps you,
Yeah. So I guess for me, being an independent mechanic, like on the road or just in the house or whatever, I don't work for anybody, right?
Mhm.
Well, okay, I don't work on cars, IRS, all right? I do favors. But, so I had a job offer from Toyota,
yeah, because your name goes around because everybody with Toyotas comes here.
Talbot.
Oh,
Talbot put my name in.
Our old college teacher.
Yeah, so my college teacher put my name in. He knew what I was doing, and he put my name in to work at Toyota. Toyota gave me a phone call, and at the time, I don't know what it is now. I don't know what the dealer rate over there is.
Mm.
At the time, sweating under a car, well, I was making less money. I was working harder than being in the AC driving a forklift at Costco.
Yeah.
So I do freight at Costco in the AC. It is the easiest thing in the world. Anybody who tells you different, I'm gonna tell you right now, whoever drives a forklift and they're like, my job is hard, it's not hard. It is the easiest thing ever. That's why you're gonna see a lot of fat forklift drivers.
Yeah, unless you see a guy go with two bare hands under
Yeah.
a pallet and lift up dog food that weighs 1,000 pounds.
Yeah. Unless they themselves are the forklift, it's not difficult at all.
No,
So
you're touching a lever.
right, yeah. So I was actually gonna go work for Toyota. The reason why I didn't was the pay wasn't there. The pay scale they told me I was gonna be on, the amount of years I was gonna have to put in to make money,
Yeah,
I was gonna hit it quicker and easier
that costs.
doing my freight at Costco right now.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure the dealer pays more than Costco now. Like if you're topped out, if you're like a whatever tech one or
and
tech two,
you're making all your hours. And
you're making all your hours, but
you're jamming.
the reason why I stayed independent was because one, I can pick whose car I work on. I can always say no.
Yeah.
I can always say no, which I hardly do because money, IRS, I don't make money. Payment of different varieties are plentiful.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I can always say no. I can choose my days off, which I really can because I work 2 jobs and my only day off is Friday and Saturday, which Friday is not really a day off. You would have figured that out yesterday.
Yeah, we're always working on something.
Yeah. So, and then Saturday is usually my only day off. And that's, if I don't have a customer car in, I'll be working on my own stuff like the Tacoma 3rd Gen 4Runner or the 80 series. I don't really touch the Lexus. It's just a good driver right now. But yeah, that's the only reason why I stayed independent. And over the years, I've gotten a bunch of things. Like I have a 20-ton press. I have engine hoist. I have 10-ton pin jacks, 6-ton jacks. I have what you guys are sitting on right now is not a tripod. That is my hydraulic tube bender for making roll cages. So really, it went from being a mechanic into being a fabricator.
Yeah.
So I've kind of gone from, because the thing with you can be a great mechanic, right? But if you want to get into custom stuff, you have to become a fabricator.
Yeah, you need to know how to weld,
Yeah.
bend.
So what I've learned through the
Custom.
years there are great fabricators that aren't mechanics.
Hmm.
When I've talked to people and stuff, you can have a guy who can build you a NHRA 12-point roll cage in your car. They have no idea anything about the engine. No idea. They know how to make a roll cage. They have guys know how to make these two bumpers like this, roll bars, like full suspension setups. Fabricators. They can do that.
Yeah.
But they don't need to know the mechanics of it.
They just know angles.
Yeah, they know the angles, a lot of good geometry and whatever, math and stuff like that. Whereas a mechanic, you can be a badass mechanic, but you're going to be stuck at a certain level if you don't know how to fabricate.
Yeah, yeah. When you got to call somebody else over to be like, "Yeah, bro, can you weld this?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to weld."
Right, or like if you have a custom job, like the 3-link on my truck, the engine swap in my 4Runner, you have to be a fabricator of some sort. Now, to do engine swaps, I would say you don't have to be a great fabricator. You can be a very basic fabricator to make engine mounts, transmission mounts, stuff like that. But if you want to do like tube chassis, you have to be a good fabricator. So, in order to get into being like the difference between a great mechanic and an excellent mechanic, I think is learning those different trades along the way, because you have welders who have no idea anything about engines.
Yeah.
Right? You have welders who have no idea about actual fabrication. They just weld stuff. Like,
you got to be a bunch of things if
Yeah,
you want
so
to be in this industry.
I would think in order to be an excellent mechanic, like an all-around excellent mechanic who can do everything, you have to be a good fabricator.
Yeah.
So you have to learn how to do exhaust systems, intercooler systems. And a mechanic would know that, but they would know how to bolt it on. As soon as you have to make custom stuff, who are you going to call? You're going to call a fabricator. You're going to call a fabricator to do that kind of stuff. So if you want to take that next step, I think you would have to be a fabricator.
Yeah.
And that's what I am. By no means am I a great fabricator. By no means I would say I'm a great fabricator. I am learning every day. So I learn every day. I get better every day. The things that I do, I change every time. I'll make a bumper, or I'll make like shock hoops or whatever for like the 4Runner or for the Tacoma or this. I do it, and then I go back at it. I look at it. I'm like, okay, I can do this different.
Yeah, yeah. Once you learn a couple tricks here and there, you can use that trick for something else.
Right. I can make different changes here. I can make different changes there. Oh, I should have welded this different. I didn't need to do a full weld. I could have just did a stitch weld every 3 inches or whatever. It would have been the same. Yeah. So, yeah, becoming a fabricator, I think, is very important if you want to become a very, very, very good, well-rounded mechanic.
Yeah.
So,
you always got to keep learning. This is one of the industries where you're constantly learning every single year. Whether it's a new car with new systems in it, new tools,
and I think that's one of the. That's one
constantly changing.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks
try this.
I'll try it. Everybody thinks mechanics is we just change parts. We just
part changers.
Like back in the old day, everything was so easy, nothing complicated.
Yeah.
Part breaks, change the part. No, nowadays everything's electronic. And you're gonna have to, like, there could be a sensor up in the mirror, and that thing messes up the whole way the car drives just because there's a camera up there.
Exactly.
And if the front camera doesn't see the right things, then your stability control goes out of whack and everything goes faulty.
And I do think that's so, like how Wyatt said that. That's also another thing that will turn you into a great mechanic, is learning how to do that kind of stuff. Because, like Wyatt said, that's one thing at the dealership, or even at a shop. You have a big advantage over independent like myself, because I don't have the resources to learn this new stuff. I learn on the fly.
Yeah, yeah.
I had a brand new GX 460. There was learning processes going with the air ride suspension system, with the sensors on it. So I never had to deal with that before. So when you're a dealer mechanic, you are going to get shown those, like, Wyatt has to go out and get training.
Yeah.
When there's new stuff that comes out.
Yeah. Anytime there's a new class, there'll be an update, do the update. Sometimes there's a class. I'll get sent to the mainland from, like, I think the farthest place I went was Buffalo, New York.
Holy shit, you go to New York?
For a 2-day class.
They couldn't hold that thing in California?
I guess no, they just wanted me to get it done because it was the last class I needed. Right. So they're like, "Right, you want to go Buffalo?" I was like, "I'm going Buffalo." Straight went over there, snowing. I was like, all I had was a rain jacket, I think. And I was in the snow at 2 a.m, trying to find some hot soup somewhere, freezing my nuts off.
I didn't even know that. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So I'll just get shipped, learn whatever's got new things,
Yeah.
fly back.
Yeah, I definitely think that's one thing a great mechanic will it's good, huh?
Spicy.
Yeah. A great mechanic would that's how you become a great mechanic is you have to be willing to learn.
Mm-hmm.
All the old heads, and I'm gonna call you all you old heads out.
Yeah.
Carburetors are dead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, carbies are done. The old toilet bowl is done. Okay, yes, they still use them in drag racing and a couple of things. Yeah, they're good. They're arguably better at a wide open throttle when you have a fat intake thing that's just pouring fuel in.
Yeah.
Yes, you might be better there by barely.
But the efficiency of
The
it.
efficiency is terrible.
No.
It is terrible. You ever take a carbureted vehicle off road? You get to an angle. You get
That
to an
thing-
angle.
Sucking air.
And guess what? That carby's gonna die out, and you're gonna flood your engine. And guess what? Now you're not starting up. And guess what happens with that little Suzuki Sierra, or Suzuki Samurai,
Mhm.
that's fuel injected, that's just pounding up this little trail.
Make you look
Ridiculous.
You up.
Yeah. So I think that's where a lot of the old heads are like carbies for life, no fuel injection, blah 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 blah. That's
Yeah.
one thing I learned straight away is I love fuel injection.
Mhm.
There's every advantage to fuel injection, and to me, there's no comparison to carburetors.
No.
Yeah, carburetors are easier to set up. You don't need an ECU,
Yeah, right. It's always changing. Probably in
but
the next 10, 15 years, it may be something better than fuel injection.
yeah, I mean, well, now they have direct injection, which
Yeah, now it's direct.
direct injection
It's almost the same thing, just where the injector is.
yeah, until they get clogged up and all messed up.
And get people ask at the dealership, why are you upselling me this induction flush kit that says I have to clean my engine? And then I'm over there like, well, you have direct injection, and the injector port is right there getting the brunt of the cylinder fire every single time, and there's no oil anymore or fluid that's cleaning that off. So all that thing is doing is getting soot burnt over and over and
Yeah,
over.
there's no fuel or gas that's washing over
there's
that.
nothing washing it. So
Yeah.
it's just getting plugged up.
Which there are some cars, I think some of the Toyotas now have an injector, because they have direct injection and then they have port injection.
Oh, to
And
like
the port injection will spray every once in a while to clean off that
Yeah,
direct
yeah,
injector.
yeah.
Something of that sort, or no, they clean off the intake valve because the intake valve will get gunked up because there's no
yeah.
fuel washing over that.
Now
that
it's
intake valve.
you're dumping a can of chemicals into your gas tank and also spraying in the intake
Yeah,
the same chemicals just so that one can clean out your injector ports and one can clean off all your intake oil and all that
Yeah.
crap.
and then EGR doesn't help.
I hate EGR with a passion.
EGR is terrible. California, I'm calling you out.
Learn how to
EGR.
make.
We had some battery issues. The battery, real quick. Come on, Progo. Get your stuff together, bro. Yeah, Progo. You gotta get your stuff together because this is like the millionth time that my GoPro has frozen on us. So right now I had the USB-C charger plugged into the GoPro to try and record the ending of this video. But
We already talked about
for like 20 minutes.
You can ask him. I went on an absolute rant that I'm gonna put on.
We gotta save it for another video.
We'll save it for another video. But EGR, California, get rid of it. It sucks. And if you are gonna keep it as a mechanic, just make it easier. There's no need for a tube that's going across your exhaust. You know, just make it the exhaust. They come up. You EGR. You don't have to make it such a pain in the ass to get to.
Yeah. Down.
Bro, you don't
And then
need
it
that.
calibrates ECM.
You don't need it. You don't need it. Engines are so much more. Oh, actually, before that, your guys' battery bars.
You ain't
guys buy-
saving. You ain't saving the planet, and you ain't saving.
Right. Your guys' battery bars, your Teslas, your Toyota Priuses, the Nissan Leafs, and Chevy Sparks, or Fusions. Are those?
Some of those, yeah. Some of them.
All of your guys' hybrid vehicles, guys. I don't know if you've ever looked at a lithium-ion mine before, but it's a gigantic hole that people are working in, and poor ass people have to dig up this bullshit, and they're
fucking up the environment within the mines. The huge machinery and huge machinery dumping. And also, I hate to break it, you can die. But electric cars, not gonna save the world. Your carbon footprint, is bigger with a Tesla. It is a factory generator. And guess what? Yeah. And guess what? When you plug your thing into the wall, right, to charge it because you're saving the environment, you're not using gasoline. A good chunk of that power is not via solar mill. I can tell you from right here on our island, there are diesel turbine generators for our power. They do have solar farms, some of that, and battery. What? Oh, I'll give you guys a very quick tip on that. Do you know what diesel turbines run on? It's just dino juice. So stop with it. Get over that shit. And everybody thinking that, oh no, I'm saving more money on electricity. On gas prices, I'm not paying gas. Right. Wait till that battery gives out in 10 years. Oh. 10 or less. Yeah. Honestly, some don't even make 3 years. Some don't even make 1 year. Yeah. When a battery cell fails, you gotta place a whole big consultant with it. They don't have it. They don't max yet. Yeah. Have you ever seen an electric battery car? Oh, yeah. It is sketch. Your car is done for. You ain't stopping that big. Your car is gone. It's what size fire station? In fact, I think the fire department says let it burn. Yeah, there's no safe because you can't use water on it. You can't use a water electric fire. You can't extinguish it. But I think the whole thing is they need to bring it to a safe portion of the road or on the side of the road or whatever. Yeah, because it can explode. Right. It's funny when people are like, "Oh, my safe like this is over like so you don't have gas every year." Wait till that battery price you get charged for it, and that thing is showing over 10 grand. Yeah, sitting there, drop 10 grand at once, and you're just there like. I've seen so much people just give up on the plan. They're not paying 10 grand for a $8,000 car. But, and for it to fail in another 5 years. Yeah. Also, Tesla's build quality is much cheap. So we're not going to go on and that kind of up high. Elon Musk. Today, Elon Musk. Maybe a lemon. You're an absolute lemon. Okay. But, yeah, I think that is all we have for today, you guys. Thanks for watching the first episode of the Essential Podcast. If you guys want to watch more of this kind of stuff, leave a comment down below. And like always, thanks for watching.